I'm Gabrielle Yela, and welcome to The Lunch Break. Let's jump into today's topic of how to ace any presentation, which I've become smart on by spending the last 10 plus years supporting C-suite executives with presentation training. My first tip is avoid the question marks with both your body language and vocal inflection. As a former ballerina, I know the important role that posture can play in body language. When you enter into a presentation, shoulders hunched with your body almost looking like a question mark, this reflects how you're feeling. So instead, when you walk in, shoulders back and head high, you're changing that question mark into an exclamation point. And speaking of punctuation, you should be ending any given sentence with a period instead of an upward inflection like a question. It will make any statement grounded and reflect that confidence. I always think, if someone was watching you and they took away one thing, such as seeing your body language or hearing your vocal inflections, would they generally get the gist of what you're trying to say? And other ways to communicate confidence is through eye contact, nodding, and hand gestures. But make sure those gestures stay within a small box so you're not flying away. I've even heard that showing the palms of your hands creates trust with your audience, so might as well try it out. Next tip is get ready and bring your energy. You may have heard, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. I'll say it again. If you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. Practice and preparation encourages comfort, and practice really does make perfect. So run through your presentation with family or friends, asking for 2 concrete pieces of constructive feedback. I know it's always hard to hear and does require a bit of vulnerability, so buckle up. Day of presentation. You can bring your briefing materials to prep right before in case you feel nervous. But that said, make sure that you are on the minute that you walk in that door. People are inherently picking up clues from you the moment that you walk in, not the moment that you click onto the first slide. So I want you to come with a positive energy. You want the audience to feel excited, curious, and connected with you. And if you sound bored by your presentation, the audience will also sound bored. So speak loud and clear. Also stay up to date on the topics of the day by READING, reading. Continue reading the news and doing your due diligence on what others have said on your topic of presentation. You won't be expecting this next tip, but it's actually silence. The first note I want to make is please silence your cell phone before walking into that room. I know I sound like a movie theater voiceover, but it's easy to forget, and nothing can make you more off track than your phone buzzing mid-presentation. Also, taking a deep breath at the beginning can help you slow down speaking and can signal when you're moving to that next sentence or point. If you think you're talking slow, talk even slower. Vocal inflection can be a great and dynamic tool to deliver a more dynamic message by changing up your pitch and pace. For instance, even a pause or different annotation will help them remember an important point that you've made. A friend of mine even writes down pause in her notes to account for that silence. Also, make sure to use that silence to replace the filler words, like, you know. I'm guilty of that one. It may feel like an eternity to you, but it won't to your audience. If you can't remember what to say next, it's better to look at your notes and collect your thoughts. When you think about your notes, though, reference those notes lightly. While visual aids are helpful, do not use them as crutches to help you along. I also don't want you looking back at the screen as a visual aid. The audience does not want to see your back. They want to see your pretty face smiling back at them. And even if it's a fake smile, fake it till you make it. While of course it depends on the formality and length of the presentation, most of the time I would not recommend a script. An outline should be sufficient. Specifically for your outline, use flashcards with bolded or highlighted words and written in large font so that you can refine your place if needed. Ask yourself, do you know your speech so well that you could do it without notes? If not, it's time to keep working at it. Remember the big picture. The goal of most presentations is to help your audience learn about a new topic that you are the quote-unquote expert of. You are the only one that knows your story, so use it to your advantage and structure your presentation accordingly. Imagine your presentation is like a mosaic. You have 3 or 4 common pieces that make up the bigger picture, and you can come back to those topics if you stumble upon yourself along the way. When you first introduce the topic of your presentation, capture the audience's attention. It's important to hook them in, and here's 2 ways to do that. First, share something realistic, like an interesting fact. For instance, X% of individuals in Y place deal with Z problem. Or second, share something inspiring, like a riveting story. For example, I'll never forget the time when X activity happened that caused me to think Y about Z topic. Though it does sound like alphabet soup, you can use some of those examples to think about your introduction to your presentation. From there, spend most of your time, let's say 70%, on examples, insights, or anecdotes that back up your story. And to tie it out, include a summary or a nice wrapper with any next steps that you need to share. Remember, it's okay to be nervous. I've heard some people even write down anything that they fear the audience is thinking about them and rip it up. And while this method is a bit aggressive, you can see my point. You can also power pose, which I'm demonstrating if you're watching online, or blast your favorite song. Right now, there's a song or two from Ray's new album that would really fit the bill. Also, identifying cues that signal that you're nervous actually is helpful. Don't try to push those thoughts down, but acknowledge them up front. For example, I'm the type of person where my face gets red if I'm nervous. It's just who I am. And acknowledging that up front is helpful to prevent being surprised later on if that happens. Finally, tell yourself that you can do it. Last week, I was at an event and a friend who is extremely capable said, "I'm not good at presenting." Hard stop. But if we ground ourselves in a certain mindset, it may get us a bit stuck in the mud. So switch that mindset to remember that we all have God-given talents and we're all unique, so let's use those to the best of our ability. So I challenge you today, take that first step towards a better presentation by recording a video, practicing out loud, and watching it to make improvements. I know you can do it, and to continue learning more about presentation skills, I'll make sure to include in the show notes 2 of my favorite TED Talks on mastering public speaking and on body language. So thanks so much for listening today. My goal here is to polish up your soft skills and activate confidence once in the workplace, while tackling life's challenges throughout our careers. Is there someone that you think would benefit from this session? If so, please share with that friend, family member, anyone else who might need a little bit of encouragement when it comes to career readiness and the future. Also, subscribe so it can be top of mind or rate it 5 stars so that others can find it. Thanks, and talk soon.